A jeni gati? Gati jemi. All right, ladies and gentlemen, mirë se vini në programin ton të studio on All Things Albanian. I got one of my great best friends in the building today. Unfortunately, this is the second time we have to film it. Yeah, but the one, the only, Liridon Zeciri. Jagadun, how you doing today?
Good, man. I'm good.
So just before we get into it, speak straight into the microphone. If you have to move it, but keep it about a fist away.
No problem, man. No problem.
So we don't have to go through
trust me.
So we don't have to go through all the other stuff that comes with it.
Jesus, man. This is the second time we recorded this.
This is the second time, and you were worried about the first time being a little bit different. We're not going to laugh as much, but I think it's even better.
I think it will be better. The only problem I have is I had a fresh cut last time. Now
I've got the fresh cut. I own duke mama. I hosted duke pak mama. Yeah, me finte boy.
Yeah, edi. I'm on Yarabi.
All right, baby. How you doing today? How's everything going?
Good, man. Good. Work's been crazy. I don't know, man. We had a crazy day today at work.
Yeah?
Yeah, some crazy shit happened with the managers and whatnot, but everything's, I mean, it'll get through. You know, that's just part of the process.
That's just how work goes. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're working 9 to 5, you're working entrepreneur, you're doing everything else. But that's actually a great little segue into, and I honestly, we started it off, but I forgot to turn these lights on, and we're going to go off the cuff right now. I got to turn these lights on.
Go turn them on, baby.
Just talk a little bit. Tell the people what they want to hear.
I don't know what they want to hear, man.
There we go.
Was it? Shoot.
Unus. That we're going to it. But so we're gonna start. We're just gonna talk. Me and you have a great relationship. Si dish ta nesi me një lokom?
Nese.
Do nes ta hajm ka një lokom kështu. Unë ta nes. Te e di se
I'm not much of a lokom guy, bro. I honestly, even like I've never eaten these.
Lokom me arrat, not ta nesi me omal.
Aman, bre. Asi me thyn dhamë këta. Mikat, shin sa gjatë kam ne këta. 2 javë ditë kam ne qatër në qëtë momi e. Baby.
Pa që ata bomboniera që I merë në përdarsmat ma Marian?
Oj, bebri mu mëjta në ku martova, I swear to God. Marrë be bombonier. I know a lajmë ka Goqinov s'kan gjonsen për bombonier pi para 2 vjetë që ka qohë dajgja pin Zvicër. A epet ajo gjohë. Nisën mitë ma pësh, halit darsma, u trafshi gofshin, që t'i thonë ata.
Ne mua bërë shumë ma
bombonier bebira epet ajo gjohë.
And just for context, we got Mikey the Barber on behind the scenes. He's listening. We got
Shouts out to Mikey the Barber, baby.
Shouts out Mikey the Barber, live studio audience. Kimi sot na. By this point, usually it's about like 3 to 5 minutes in. People are going to tune in, min the join. And then, they exit out, nuk don't know. So, këto të që mund me të fulim rahat. Ata që don't të join, then join.
If you know me, bro, you know I don't, like, I unhop this foot. I don't hold anything back. I'm really an open book, for good and for bad. I've always been an open book. I tell you how it is, you know? If you like it, if you don't like it. That's why in high school, everyone used to always say, Donnie Zeciri, Liridon Zeciri, but they used to call me Donnie Zeciri.
The American
you either
version,
love them or you fucking hate them.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's always been. I don't know. It's weird. It's just black and white.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's why I wanted to have you on. Because, you know, starting all this blah, blah, blah podcast and whatever the fact may be. Oh, good, get do ta marsh, you got to get this guy in. No. I know who I need to have on. Yeah. I know who I want to have on. Yeah. You're one of those people that I needed to have on because we've grown up together.
Yep.
We've had many ins and outs together. Yep. And I know you're an open book. You're willing to come on here. It's not an easy thing to come on a podcast.
No, it's not, you know.
I'm not getting shunsa views, but
it's out there. It's forever out there.
It's for
when we go back to Kërçova, when I go to Kolar, I'm shopping. You know, they're gonna be like, "Hey, ky jam pi ajo podcast."
Ky me Albani që bonte ata muhabete, ja ky që është aketa.
Ja, ky help me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Çata lafe buin këta.
Çata lafe buin. But I'm excited to have you on, and I know we're gonna have a good podcast. People enjoy when me and you get together and we start doing our shit. Going off, blah, 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 whatever the fact may be. But I honestly think you give a good insight to the Albanian idea of Albanians that grew up
in America
that didn't feel Albanian up until a certain point. So to give some context, up until what, 18 years old?
Yeah, so I grew up in small town, Illinois.
Yeah.
Town of 3,000 people. I was at one point the only, Muslim, only Albanian, obviously, only Muslim person in my school.
Right.
I grew up in a town where it was, predominantly white. My best friend actually was black. He was the only black kid in school.
Right.
So that's one thing we shared. We were the minority. I was the Muslim. He was the black kid. Typical small town. It was different, man. It was you become really, you assimilate really quick.
There's no other choice from that.
There's
not
literally
gonna
no
go
other
towards
choice.
The Albanian aspect. Of
No,
it. You can't. There's no way to do it.
Especially my dad owned the restaurant in the town.
Right?
Like literally, he was at the time the only breakfast place in town, and you had this in it. You had to get along with everyone. I couldn't act up. I couldn't do stupid shit. My dad owned the business. Everyone knew Steve. You know what I mean? So I had to act like Steve's son. I had to be, a good kid. I had to be on my grind. My teachers would come and eat at the restaurant. My principal, everything.
Right. Yeah. It was so localized that you had to be a certain way in the American aspect of it.
I had to.
Yeah.
I played basketball. I, went to summer league. I did things for the school, whatnot. Just, a bunch of shit. But, just everyone knew you. It's a small town, man. It's a really small town. Word gets around like this. You fuck up, that affected a lot of things. Not just for me, for my family, for the business.
For the business, exactly.
I talk about, let's just get it out there. I talk about the time, I'd gotten arrested. I had fucked up,
Right.
Went to jail. When I was 17, I was stupid. Never got into drugs or alcohol. Never in my entire life. I was reckless, man. I did stupid shit.
Right. Instead of doing the drugs and alcohol, you were doing crazy stuff other than that.
Stupid shit.
To give some context, so people,
drogiraš. No. I was a good student, good kid, athlete, Johnson, hang out with good friends. We were just reckless. We thought it was stupid. We're at Cherryville Mall in Rockford. Go to the mall. My friend, one of my boys that was with me, there was 5 of us. He steals a pair of sunglasses. We go in the dressing room. He rips off the tag. I was like, cool, Holy shit. Free sunglasses.
Yeah.
I see a belt. I wanted the belt. I was like, man, $22. We were going to see Superbad that night.
Iconic movie.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Still to this day, let me finish the story. To this day, I have not seen Superbad, and I won't see Superbad because it's night. I was like, oh my God. I go, I see the belt. I'm like, shit, he's stealing. Seems okay. Seems easy.
He got away
I'm
with
gonna
it.
Steal. He had done it before. This wasn't his first rodeo. Put the belt on under my shirt, rip off the tags, throw him in the dressing room. Put the belt on. We dip out. We're in the middle of the mall. You know what I mean? At the kiosk,
Yeah.
With my, like the Indian guys, they're selling the chains and shit. We're looking for, chain links, Cuban links.
Good doing the Cubans. You guys are trying to go retro.
17, small town Illinois, rep a Cuban links in the bush. We look at the mall. Somebody taps my boy on the shoulder. Those are nice sunglasses. Where'd you get those? So, I just bought them from Bergner's. He's like, no,
some random guy, right?
Random guy. There was 2 guys. No, you didn't. Boom. Secret shopper, police officer.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, that fucking sucks. He's fucked. Fuck him. Then, this is when my fucking heart dropped. Who has the belt? I was like, what the fuck? Seem Giatan, man? I was like, what do you mean who has the belt? He's like, listen, you guys got 30 seconds to say who's got the belt. You're all going to jail. There were 6 of us, man. I can't let all 6 of us go to jail.
You're not going to be the
My
rat.
friends are going to hate me for the rest of my life.
No.
I lift up my shirt. I was like, I got the belt.
There you go.
Okay, you guys come with me. Cops are already waiting for us. Go to jail. They book us in. They pick us up from Bergner's. They take us to Winnebago County. If you guys don't know Rockford's literally top 10 most dangerous city. Rockford, Illinois, top 10 most dangerous city in America. Terrifying. Guys like me aren't built for Rockford. We're not meant to go to Rockford. To jail in Rockford, Illinois. Terrifying, man. There's murderers and shit in there.
Yeah, no, it's no easy process over there. You're not going in with some white collar guys. No.
Those are like drug dealers or murderers, literally. Go get checked in. Coincidentally, I'm wearing a bright orange hoodie. It's like the prison scrubs. I look like I'd already been in prison.
You look like you were on Beyond
I was ready to go to prison,
right.
or go to jail. They checked me in, get me in the cell. I was in there with some crazy people. Like guy was screaming, like literally screaming from the top of his lungs. I'm shaking. I'm 17-year-old, skinny little, Albanian kid, small town Illinois.
You'd never
just
been
fucking
outside.
around.
This was the first time you did something
really
bad.
stupid. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I'm thinking in my head, like, my life's ruined. I got to wash dishes at my dad's restaurant. I wanted to be an accountant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to bring it back to the whole things Albanian idea. You were thinking, oh my God, what are my parents gonna think? I disgraced my family. I'm gonna have to. I duhet punoj ke restoranti. Duhet laj pijata.
I can't even be a server. People can't even see my face. I gotta wash dishes in the back now for that. So they check you in, they lock you up, put you in there. You get a phone call after a little while after you go through the documentation. I call my sister, and I'm like, who to call? I can't call my parents. My dad's
you get the one phone call as everybody thinks.
My mom, she can't do much about it. She got us
really Fkasish datin.
Datin në mthejer.
Datit I zi krët. Ert kuzhineri, nuk ert kuzhineri.
My dad, I swear to God, he hates thieves more than anything, dude. I bet anything.
I mean, whose dad doesn't?
I don't know. It's just something about thieves. Say he's had his business, he's gotten stolen from Johnson. And at they vjedish, man, atit I shkejt në kamë. You know what I mean? So I'm like, shit, who to call? My sister. I'm like, my sister. She's over 18.
Yeah.
Losha Gjbon, because we call my sister Losha. Losha Gjbon. She's like, nothing, Danny at work. If got the direct restauranti. I was like,
thank God she answered.
Thank God. I was like, Losha, listen, I'm in jail. I need you to bail me out. She's like, Danny, what'd you do? I was like, Losha, het sama vrek, please. It's 8:30.
Olsen Chindroik, though.
Soon Chindroy. It's a Friday night. If you don't come past 10, I literally can't get booked out. I can't get out. You have to bail me out now. She's like, Danny, what'd you do? I sent her. This is pre-fucking GPS days, man. You had to like open up a map and shit. We're talking
Google,
07.
What was it? Google Maps, MapQuest,
MapQuest, yeah, print it out and shit, literally. So I was like, I'm in Winnebago County on Perryville Road, Winnebago County Jail. Bring some money. I don't know how much money it is. You just have to come, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm sitting there, man. They have me chained down as if I fucking murdered someone. I'm chained. There's a hook on the ground, and I'm in cuffs like this. I'm like staring, I'm like sitting there. There's a crazy person. They're literally like screaming. There's a crazy person across from me.
Right.
I'm shaking. I'm not even looking at this fucking loser's eyes. I'm like, what the fuck is he screaming about? I'm not trying to get to nobody. I'm trying to get out. I'm in fucking jail. The lowest point of my life. This is jail. You're in jail.
Right.
I'm a good kid with good grades.
Again, just so how old were you at the time?
17.
17. So yeah.
17, man. An honest, stupid mistake. I was retail shoplifting.
Yeah.
They have me chained to the ground. An hour and a half goes by. It's like 9:50, 10 o'clock. You don't get booked out. You're done. You're there till Monday.
You're looking at
Dude, you have no idea. I look up and I'm in the cell closest to the entrance. I'm looking down. I'm just sitting down at the time. I look to my left and I see my mom and my sister walk in. I was like, a month. The second my mom walks in, man, just tears. That point, man, I'll never forget the disappointment in her eyes. Like, Gutsim got her in Burg. And then for something so stupid, it's like, $2. Sigur ne nuk I kimi jetë të majrat. Sigur we didn't give him everything.
Sigur nuk I kishin ata $22, qofsh super bad.
Exactly.
Like you didn't have it.
But more Kishnya, like 50, $60. Funny story. I actually had to use the restroom, and in jail, you use the restroom in front of everyone, man.
Right.
You can just go to the restroom. It's open. Everyone sees you. Everyone sees your business, your privacy. I'm like, hey, I need to use the restroom. They unlock you. You go. It's right there, right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Go. He gets out. He's looking through, like, you have like a personal baggage item. He's looking through my shit. He's looking through my ID, my phone, everything. Yeah. He's just looking at my bag. He sees my money. I had like $60. The belt was, so you had enough money to buy this belt? I'm like, yeah, dude, I like had plans, man.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Yep. Just following the crowd, unfortunately.
Exactly, following the crowd. Being peer pressure for stupid shit from my friends.
Right. My
mom bails me out, man. My mom and sister bail me out. I get out. I get on probation. I have to go to court eventually. My mom and sister had actually taken off for back home. They went to Macedonia at the time. I didn't go, because of this shit. To be honest with you, I go and I tell my dad, I'm like, Dati, I have court. He's like,
so to bring context around it, Dati, your dad,
he had no idea what was going on.
Your mom and your sister came. They like we all know, we've all done stupid stuff like that.
Yeah,
you hid it from your dad.
I had to, man. I had to. I was just so embarrassed, so disappointed in myself. Court date comes. It's like June. My parents are, my family's back home, except for me and my dad. I was helping him out at the restaurant. I'm like, Dati, što. Thank God it was on a Tuesday court, because he wouldn't have came. You got yourself into it. You deal with it. Butch Dias. You want to be man enough to steal and do stupid shit? Like, go be man enough to deal with it. Find some other guardian. You need a guardian. At 17 years old, you're tried as an adult, but you're considered a minor. So you get sentenced as an adult. You have to deal with adults, but you're still a minor until you're 18. So luckily, court was on a Tuesday. I was like, Dati, let's, I got a court. I had a traffic. I got caught speeding. He's like, I'm on I was like, let's just go to court.
Traffic ticket
We go to court. The judge reads my sentence. I go up there in front of people. Liridon Zeciri, retail shoplifting, disorderly conduct, misdemeanor, essentially.
Ooh.
You face up to 6 months probation, a year court supervision, 6 months probation, this fines, and I was like, yeah, guilty. You guilty or not guilty? I mean, yeah, guilty. I was guilty. I'm not gonna fight it. I got caught stealing. My dad, I can feel my dad, dude. He's just
staring at me.
Man, I'll direct to the judge, just like this. My dad's just staring at me. I'm like, oh, fuck me. He heard this for the first time in front of a courtroom full of people with him. Because, you're technically in just like circuit court, where people are there for speeding tickets. Because it's a misdemeanor. It's, it wasn't that big of a deal. Yes, I'm not a murderer here.
You didn't kill anybody, yeah.
So we go pay the fines. I set up everything with my probation officer. We go pay the fines, and my dad has to pay the fine. Whatever it was, like $800-900 court fines at the time, not including probation and whatever I was gonna pay. And he looks at me in front of the freaking circuit clerk, and he's like, "Look what your fat mouth, your stupid decisions did." Oh my God, man! And it was just so disappointing, man.
Look what your fat mouth did.
Look what your stupid, idiotic decisions did, man. They're saying, and what are you gonna say?
Exactly.
What are you gonna say? But you live and you learn, man. I'm so happy I made those mistakes at 17. I'm so happy.
Right.
I'll never do that stupid. I'll never do that. Ever since that day, I've never done anything stupid like that again. I never wanted to go to jail, especially now. I'm married.
Nobody plans to go to jail, and that's the thing too that I want to bring you back to the idea of you. If you think about it, that whole situation was created because
I was hanging out with the stupid crowd, man.
You were hanging out with the stupid crowd.
Yeah.
You were hanging out because you can find stupid crowds in every ethnicity. There's no about it. But after the fact, you later found we had the friendship. We made the friendship we made. Then you started coming around us, and then the Albanian crew.
The Albanian crew from the Chicago suburbs,
Beam. And it's to bring it back to the all things Albanian idea. If you had been integrated in the Albanian aspect more, because you would have eventually came to us, I believe, because we just meshed as it. That probably would have never happened to you.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely. You guys were busy. Your guys' craziness was, those disrespect. I'm not trying to say that we had like a wild time in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. But you guys would, floor your cars to 60 miles an hour at the street light. Yeah. That was the craziest it got around
We were hanging out in parking garages. We were doing like car stuff. We weren't doing anything crazy. We are the crew we have. So me, Tim, whoever else around here, because Tim was recently on the podcast, so I can say his name freely. That's the stuff we did. We never got into that because we knew when we got home, if we had done something stupid,
yeah.
Just don't bojnë mami, just don't bojnë babi.
Yeah, but you guys hung around each other. I didn't have that.
Exactly.
I come from friends. This background so like I hate to say this whitewashed. So Americanized.
So Americanized
that you got to understand where they come from. I thought she's on rate. You know, their
Si janë
parents have
vejt
been to
ata,
jail.
yeah.
Their parents nuk janë fucking suli kollares që kanë erpim 12 vjet pa pasni.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That
I
had to
rate
find their
that
own
he
way,
literally
yeah.
lived got no a shku to no. Their dad didn't do that.
Right.
Their
They
mom
had
didn't
a
do-
whole different outlook on
They had a
life.
whole
So
different
ata
outlet.
ishin rejt nërshi, and then that's all you had to
Yeah.
connect to. So then that's the thing I want to bring it to, is that because as of recently, I've found out, like, obviously everybody has their own different way they were raised, and they went through different stuff. I'm nuke mohoi asni how anybody went through their stuff. So you were raised more Americanized,
Very.
you know?
Very.
That's your truth, as they say. As
Yeah.
the terminology. That's
Yeah.
your truth. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's wrong or that's right. That's what you went through.
I mean, yeah, man, dude, you know, you got to understand, my dad came here at 12 years old. He came here with his older brother. You know, his older brother was 15, my dad was 12. Jan Reit Vejat. My dad grew up without a father. You know, my dad's father died when my dad was 9 months old. You know, very on his own. He had to grow up quick. You know, he very assimilated. You know, my dad came here at 12. He didn't go back till he was like literally 22. He didn't go back for 10 years, you know. Didn't see his mom. Became very, you know, modern, I'd say. You know, became assimilated very quick. He had to. So, I mean, that was all I knew. Like, to this day, dude, I talk to my dad in Albanian, like, how dati Kepona, and he'll talk to me in English. Good, Donnie, you know, just been busy, dati. I'm tired. I'm old. I'm getting old. To this day, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
I
like
always
a
say, you met me when I was 18. We
Yeah.
met at 18 years
Yeah.
old. You remember how I spoke Albanian.
Yeah.
I didn't know Albanian. You know, barely see a mind. That's it. You know, that's all. That's all I knew.
It's a very samatheish.
Samatheish.
Yeah.
Thank God for my mom. You know, she vetëm fol
Yeah.
shqip. You know what I mean? Se për të rëshi, a unë s'di, man. You know.
As nuk dam sonje.
Hurts nuk dam mësonje. You know, I went back home, man. In 22 years, I went back home 3 times in 22 years. 22 years, man. I went back home 3 times. So when you guys have these stories of stereo love, summer '08, I don't know that.
Right.
Or what is that one? Or Sifkatet Bello Discotheque, you know, the one downstairs.
The cafes, right?
No, Piano Cafe, like the summer piano cafe. I don't have that. You guys talk about that, and I'm like, dude, I remember going. We used to ride around with fucking Psycho T and Nasty Nate. We used to try to kill, you know, literally drive around in '87 Oldsmobiles trying to hit deer and raccoons. That was what I grew up with in the summer. You guys were going to Cafiche, going
We were
here,
integrating with Albanians back home.
Yes.
We had Tuli Historia, kemi me Tuli njerëzish.
Yeah.
You know, so my connection in those younger years was all Albanian.
Yes.
Whereas yours was
All American, man. Like I said, we literally used to go in an '87 Oldsmobile, swerving middle of the country roads, finding deer and raccoons. Let's fucking kill it. They would literally floor the fucking car and run over raccoons and deer, man. Mekas.
that was their fun.
That was their fun, and on the back seat, like, oh, we used to jump train tracks, dude, and the hubcaps would explode out of the car. I swear to God, we used to jump train track. Huh, Shay? Imagine if my fucking Albanian parents saw me doing that shit. Morat të kanë lënë menja.
Se në shkojnë ke shpaja.
I know.
Se në shkojnë
Well, that's what I grew up with. What did they expect growing up in the small town?
Right.
What did they expect?
Yeah, and see, that's because it's been funny and we've been laughing, but that's what I want to bring it back to.
Yeah.
You had a whole different upbringing,
Very different.
you know, and that's your truth. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's wrong or that's right. Or how weren't you how didn't you know Albanian that well? Your mom spoke it to you or whatever the case may be. That's just how you grew up.
That's how I grew
you know?
up, man.
And it's not just you. There's a bunch of kids out there
There is a
like
bunch,
that.
you know?
Our age, generations coming up, you know. And that's the thing I want to bring it to. I want to hear this story. So if someone's listening to this right now, they'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This kid went through all this stuff. I'm going through the same stuff. But guess what? To flip it now, because I'm a good podcaster. To flip it now, you, from however it turned for you, we'll get into that. It went from all that American stuff to finding an Albanian girl, getting married to her, gjithë traditat I bune, gjithë I majtë gjithë gjajat, shpaj bune keneje. Që njerëzit sën kam rajt I bune ata gjajat, e e bune.
Yeah, thank you.
So, like, what was the flip for you? You know what I mean?
What was the flip for me, man, was when I graduated high school. I graduated high school 2010. 2009, man.
2009?
Dude, yeah,
We're 2
2009.
years apart?
Yeah, I'm 2009, man.
Oh,
But
I was
I was the
2011.
third youngest kid in my grade.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you
that's
got
why
caught.
I'm only a year
okay.
older than you. I was very young. I should have graduated 2010, but I graduated,
okay.
2009.
Because people are like, what the hell?
Graduated 2009, man. Everyone went to school. Wisconsin,
To college.
Florida, college, yeah. I went local for the first 2 years. I went, community college 2 years. Then I went to NIU, state school. When I went to community college, man, I had a lot of time myself. All my friends left.
Right,
They
yeah.
all
So
went.
you got disconnected from the American friends.
From everyone. I started getting into the restaurant. I started working for my dad on weekends, nights, weekends, Johnson. Started working especially weekends. I had those select few friends that didn't go to college or went to college, community college as well. I'd see them. We'd see each other on weekends. They come home every month. We let it go, man. We let it go.
Yeah.
This person met the love of their life. This person started doing drugs. This person.
Everybody ended up taking their old path.
Their own path.
Just like, and
Everyone.
that's like all of us that grew up around here that had the high school friends.
Yeah.
They just ended up taking their own path.
Everyone, man. But my path was crazy, man. My path, honest to God. My best friends, man, they had changed so much, man.
Right.
We were the basketball crew. We all hung out. We all played basketball every day. And, one person went off to school, went played basketball. The other person got really bad into the drugs. One of my buddies, committed suicide. It was crazy how much everything changed when I was going, man.
Yep.
They went away.
Yeah.
It was really sad to see it unfold in front of my eyes. And there was like nothing you can do. It's just they take their own path. They move away. They never come back. They went from coming back every month to sophomore and junior year of college, never coming back.
Right.
Literally once a year.
Yeah, there was nothing to bring them back.
Nothing to
like
bring
the
them back.
friendship you guys had, but then what's bringing that?
Yeah.
They never had that.
They never had that. Summer 2010 comes. I'm going into my sophomore year of college. My older sister's getting married. I go back home. I meet you guys. That was a crazy summer for you. Especially you. That was the summer I met you. You had a lot of tragic
summer 2010. Yeah.
Tragic thing had happened to you and whatnot, and it was just I knew you from what had happened. I was like, oh my God, this is the kid.
Right. Like we had known each other a little bit here.
Little
we
bit.
had seen
Johnson.
But
I knew everyone.
Yeah, we all knew each other somehow, some way. But for you, that was like, oh, that's him.
That's him.
Yeah.
This is the kid. And, I met you outside the internet cafe. I met you. I met Tim at the time because Tim was on the podcast.
Right.
I was with my cousin. We went to Shared, which, by the way, when you grow up back home, when you grow up so almost Americanized, when you go back home 3 times in 22 years.
Right.
The second time I went when I was 18, I didn't get much freedom. I stayed in Kolar, dude.
Yeah, you were in.
I stayed in
the
Carton.
Yeah, you were in the Carton. Yeah.
Zayas, Gedajit. I didn't go to Share. Share was like, oh my God, I'm in the city. Again, it goes back to my parents didn't trust me to drive to Share. They didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly, yeah.
Met you guys, we made a connection. We hung out a little bit that summer. We came back to America, hung out more. I started coming out to the suburbs and whatnot. And, things just drastically changed. I started, with my American guys, they, went their separate ways, doing what. Some got married again, some got into drugs, some actually became really good, successful. Some moved away really far, some never came home. And then it was just transition to you guys, the Albanians. And it just never changed, man. You guys motivated me. I see you guys with like Porsches, the STI, Mercedes, BMW. I come from a small town where my piece of shit Mitsubishi Lancer was like the shit.
Right, yeah.
I was
you were at the top of the tier.
I was the top of the tier, man. You know what I mean? And it wasn't anything,
And it's not like we were anything out here either, but from your perspective. From
my perspective, I was
you were looking at us like, and then we were looking at like, we weren't obviously shit.
When I thought you guys were like, this is popping. I swear to God, when back in the day when North Face was popular, really popular.
Yeah, way back when,
and no one in my town wore North Face. I used to come out here and like you especially wore North Face all the time.
Right.
I was like, God damn, North Face?
Old boy got North Face?
Yeah, that's like Supreme 2 years ago.
North Face used to pick a Ross or pick a Marshalls.
But it was just like these guys wearing North Faces and G Fazos, Air Force Ones. I was like, God damn, Lacoste.
Right.
That wasn't normal in the small. You gotta understand that. When I went back home, cars wasn't cool in a small town. Wearing a Ralph Lauren polo was not cool.
Yeah, you had a whole different
So when people would wear polo, Lacoste, And I wore Nike, Adidas, and Carhartt. That was cool over there. Abercrombie, Aeropostale. It was just different, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was different.
No, and that makes perfect sense. So, like, everybody viewing. So, like, when I've gone back home every summer, so that was the stuff that was cool to me. I would go back home. I'd say the Armani Exchange, the North Face, what caused it. These things were like the cool
Diesel.
things. So dieselka, kush nuk dishte dieselka.
Ne pika Aurora outlet I meri dieselka.
Mama nesim piku I merim që I merim kështu drejt të folim, but whatever. Those were the cool things to us.
Yeah, that wasn't like
you,
that here.
You didn't even know those things existed.
That didn't matter at all. Us, the cool thing was to do the most reckless shit, man.
Right.
Like hit deer in a car. Like, do you understand what I'm saying here? Like literally hit deer with a car. Who can hit the deer? You know,
right.
It was, man.
It's just a whole different upbringing.
It was a different
guys.
world, man.
Yeah.
And you become so attached to that life. I didn't want to go back home. I got sad, man. I hated going back home. I hated it. I was like, oh, mami, Tem chuan shkoj në kollar. Tem chuan shkoj në zayas. Why are you taking me? Shkuani you, zdu. Në raj me shokën, në raj ke dati, në raj ke restoranti.
Ma fun kishin kënjën.
Yeah, ma fun kishin këto. And it's just like, now as I've transitioned completely, we're talking 12 years later, completely 180, you know. Where I see my American boys once every 6 months, I see you guys every day.
Yeah.
I think back and it hurts when I think, what did I do?
Right.
Now the last 6 years, I've gone 5 times back home. I got married to an Albanian girl. I built a house at 24 years old. I built a house. I worked like a dog for 4 years to build a house when I didn't go back home.
And as you just said it, you got mad at the fact that these guys are sending me back home.
Yeah, I'd see the land where my house is today, and I'd be like,
honestly saying, I can't wait to go back to America.
Yeah, like this land's ugly. Like, I wish, now I built a house there, man. I worked like a dog. I sacrificed so much because I wanted it. It gives me a peace of mind. There's days I have at work, shit's going on in my life, and I was like, fuck, man, this is hard. This is stressful. Like, God damn, why is that? And I think about the house. I think about my Volkswagen Golf, that I literally got last year. And I think about, our stru, kërqoa, the kafiches, the karton, ke dyqani fadilit even, the hanitos. And I think about, like, shishim pret.
Right.
How exciting that is that I have something to look forward to. I really do. That sounds so almost pathetic, but it's not pathetic. It's just a peace of mind knowing that, like, there's something waiting for me. I got a little piece of satisfaction and happiness 4,000 miles away waiting for me at all costs, at any time. Worst comes worst, I just get fucking një to me vjen bona, një to me vin njerëz. And I'm like, you know what? Mora dal. I gotta get out of here for a couple weeks. Shkoj ke ne. Shkoj shpaja.
Qit biletin, bëj ç'është të bëj, nuk na harxhosh kështu sa whatever. Mi mund të shkoj, you have that peace of mind.
Peace of mind. I got that car. I got that. I love my house.
You have a peace of mind somewhere other in the world. Luckily, it's where because it's not our homeland, but it's your father's homeland, and you somehow connected to that.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to bring it back to the fact that everybody has a different story, and I want everybody to come on here to tell their story because someone out there will connect to it. I don't need meka qindra mi njerëz to view this and think, oh my God, no. I just need... If this makes one person think, listen to mine and your conversation, I want to be more Albanian, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it, and I'm proud of that fact. And if they listen to it and they somehow, if that's the route they want to take, more than welcome, take it. Take whatever route you want. I have no problems with anything. If that's the one, your story is going to be an inspiration to them.
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, it's just different, man. I always say, I see sometimes when guys don't want to go back home, and I think it's silly. You know what I mean? Like, straight up, I think it's just like, you don't really know what kind of connection you have with back home until it's too late almost. Like you started feeling it with Albania. It's going to come around eventually. You're going to have to start dealing with them. You really do. You can push them away and you
as
don't
much
want to
as
go.
you want,
but it's going to come around. If you would have told me, Donnie, at 18, 17 years old, when I was literally, sitting in jail for retail shoplifting and hitting deer with car. If you would have told me that, Donnie, at 21, you would have met an Albanian girl your senior year of college, the 3 months after you turned 21, at 24, you would buy a house back home.
Build
a house back home. At 26, you'd be married with a darsam sichika here, Johnson. I would have been like, dude, you're crazy, man. Relax. But sure enough,
it happened.
It happened. I would have never thought it. I would have never thought it. Honest to God. If you would have told me at 20 that you wouldn't have taken the mainstream route and, you know, got into restaurants and whatnot, I would have been like, you're crazy. You know, I went to college. I went to NIU, you know, top 25 accounting program. Went to college for accounting. You know, I saw that, you know, accounting just, it was different, man. We're not... My dad went to 8th grade, you know, 7th, 8th grade. My mom went to 3rd grade.
Yeah, right.
I tried. I went to college.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's to give some context to build upon that. You were growing up the way you were growing up. You had only seen hard work, entrepreneurship, success in restaurant business. You know what I mean? So then it's like, all right, I'm gonna do sichikahi, I'm gonna go get my degree.
Yep.
I'm gonna get the job 9 to 5. What strayed you away from that? Why did you not just continue that? Because by now people could argue, and we've had this conversation many times. People could argue, by now you would have been making a decent salary, blah 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 blah. You would have been fine with just your degree. You didn't rest on those laurels.
No, I didn't at all. So, you know, I went to college. I finished college, you know, great school. Went for accounting, great degree. Got a job instantly out of college. You know, I was actually that summer, it was summer 2013, I went and visited my wife, or soon-to-be wife, my girlfriend at the time. She's from Alaska, Violca. You know, everyone, that's my wife.
In Violca. You're great. You're probably listening for sure. Love you.
And I go... visit Violca, go to Alaska. I come back. As I'm in Alaska, I actually have a job offer. I had interviewed with them before I left for Alaska. Got a job offer. Cool. As soon as I get back, let's start the job. And I go to Alaska, visit her. I come back, already have a job, start my job. Everything's going good. And man, I just fucking hated it. I hated it. I hated the suit and tie. I had it all. Yeah. I had the suit and tie. I had the company laptop. I had the business meetings at a lunch at a random fancy restaurant where we paid
that you put on $23.
You know, $23 for a salad. I did that. Yeah. I did the laptop at home on my weekends. Dude, I fucking hated it, man. I really did. We were caught from a different... Onya Maso Metsudin, you know, talk about like the price of eggs going up. You know, Roth IRAs and shit. I'm not used to that, you know, statement of retained earnings. I wasn't used to that, man. I hated talking about it. I hated how boring their weekends were, man. You know, we were talking about going to the club, man. You know what I mean? Partying, doing fun stuff, going to Six Flags. They talked about like walking the dog and taking it to the local state park. And it wasn't me. I absolutely hated it. The pay just wasn't what you expect, man.
Right.
You know, you go into college, you think you're going to get 60 grand, 50 grand, 40. That wasn't shit after taxes, health insurance, retirement. It's not shit. We're Albanian, dude.
And that gives it a perfect segue into the double life we lead.
We live a double life, man. Yeah. Like no other. What we do isn't enough. You can't get by doing a 9 to 5. You cannot. You cannot do the life we live, making 40 grand a year. You can't, man. I tried in the hockey. You know what I mean? It just wasn't enough. I'm getting serious with a girl. I need to build a house back home. You know, we were sharing a house with my uncles, whatever. John said in a house from 87. Nuk shkon, su ne bësh ashtu. Ne 5 vet, 6 vet në juët. Ne nuk shkon në kollar, 6 vet në juët. On jam rejt bebir. You know what I mean? 2 bedrooms, 15 njerëz. You know what I mean? I know. Stone Suvrike, njerëz të grus the whole time. And then Nate, I can't sit here and say, Kum Nate. I went back home, you know. Shnabush, kum Nate. Dude, I fucking stayed in a hotel. Kum Nate got a bela bebir, dy muj dit. E din që ka a bela trajsh ke vend linje, unë jëm lija atë. No shame, man. It's the struggle.
the
People
truth.
go through.
That's yeah.
You got to talk about
this stuff. So exactly.
You got to talk.
Yes.
Let it. Don't. There's no mod in this because look at it
yeah.
now. There's a shine. There's a light to the end of the tunnel. See my mind. That should a lot.
Yep.
You know. So, but yeah, I've stayed in a hotel que vem linha, man. A din John. You know what I mean? You haven't realized that because, you know, you've been back home. You stayed back home.
It was a whole different thing
Bro,
for me.
this is different from me. You know, I stayed in a hotel, embarrassed to stay in a hotel. Yeah. Embarrassed to tell people, I had you pick me up, remember?
Of course.
I had you pick me up. Hats Madam Becto. I used to tell people, I used to lie. You know, because I was just like, what the fuck? You know?
It was and that's the thing too, is the Maredvinte,
man. You know, you had that like had money, bro. You know, had really came from money. They've been in business 30 years. They had money. And it's just like, you're coming from me, man. I love my father. I love my family, but we did what we did. We went through a really rough patch at a young age, rough patch. And I don't blame anyone for that. Sometimes cards don't align. Sometimes you really fall on your fucking ass. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
You know?
Those are the cards you get
didn't
dealt.
pan out the way they were supposed. You think someone wants to come to America, work 40 years, and you don't have nothing? You know what I mean? No one wants that.
Right.
So, you know, I learned from good and from bad. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to fall on that path. So I'm like, you know what? I'm old enough. I'm going to fucking do something about it.
There you go.
I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to change this. I'm going to figure this path out. And I was like, you know what? Accounting, back to accounting, it's not going to cut it. Fucking making $900 every 2 weeks isn't going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. It wasn't. It wasn't going to cut it. Making 35, 40 grand a year wasn't going to cut it. I need to build a house. I got to get married. I got a lot of pressure on me. I want to do these things for myself, not for anyone else. I could have easily done a wedding here. I could have easily gotten an apartment here and just lived. Easily. And with just done it. But I didn't want to. I wanted to do it because I felt like I needed to be there. I felt like, why the fuck don't I deserve this? Why the fuck don't I buy a house? Why the fuck don't I get married? But me vale, me nothing mais, me contar. I want that. Why don't I deserve it? Why? Because we had some fucked up situations happen to us in 2004 and some bad things happened to my family. Now we can't enjoy it. You know what? You know, thankfully, thank God, I have the health to do something about it. Because you know what? You know, this goes on to another segue. You know, my dad had some really bad health issues, had cancer, couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He tried, man. We all tried. I love him to death. He's my hero. Yes. He tried. It didn't fall the way he wanted to. And I can't hold that against anyone. Nope. So you know what? If I have the ability to do it, I'm going to fucking do it. There you go. And there was nothing going to stop. Nothing was going to stop me. I moved to Alaska to do this shit, man.
So yeah, and this is the perfect thing into, because this is a big thing that I think, especially us, our generation, Albanians, need to get over. Marja, yeah. I'm going to air this out right now because I truly, honest to God, believe this. You went through all that stuff you went through. You did all those things you went through. But guess what? You didn't let that stop you.
No.
You didn't let that stop you.
I moved to Alaska to my wife. You know what that is in the Albanian community?
That's hard.
That is hard.
That's hard.
Easy. Your dad has a small little restaurant. They squish. Now lask. Podnoishke. Gruja, whatever, Reich me grun, take Tokyo, Bone Johnson. Man, I saw an opportunity. I saw what people did out there. I saw there was money to be made and there was a lot of work to be done. Yeah. And I saw also how sidetracked we got here. No offense. I love you guys.
100%. That's
the truth.
Bro,
you guys, you know, I'm not saying the cause. You guys had houses. You guys weren't married. You guys weren't even dating anyone at the time.
Yeah, we weren't thinking about dating anybody at the time.
And I was like, you know what? I got to get the fuck out of here. And I thought about that. And literally, I remember I was having a conversation with my wife, my girlfriend, fiance, girlfriend at the time. And I was like, Stoke, you know, hey, I got to go. You know, I got to do shit. Come here. Come. Live with us. Work. Go find a job. If you can't find a job, work for us, you know.
There you go.
And I was like, I don't know. Thought about it. I was in the accounting job. I hated it. Hated my manager. Hated everyone. Hated doing it. Hated Mondays, man. Hated Mondays.
Monday comes around.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to come. I never went to college. I went to college, obviously. I never lived in college. I did. Had roommates. I stayed. I paid $300 a month to live in a guy's, bedroom.
You owed your old.
But I only stayed like 3 days a week because I had to work at the restaurant on weekends and this and that. So it wasn't like a real college where I lived there year round, weekend round, right?
A real college experience for.
So I was like, this is going to be like my college experience. I'm going to go to Alaska. And I literally just like that had the conversation. I was like, okay, I'll come. Told my parents, hey, I'm going to go to Alaska. Straight up like that. Hey, mommy, dati, slow. I kind of want to go to Alaska. Get to know my girlfriend at the time a little more. Make some money. There's money to be made.
Yeah.
They know about it. Everyone.
I see the opportunity.
I see the opportunity.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I'm going to go and do it. Sayo. 1 year turned into 4 years because, Ulidin Bona. Things went good.
There you go.
I met the goals I wanted to meet. I did the things I had to do. I had the engagement party. I started building the house. I started saving money for the wedding.
Yeah.
And it was just, I'm so glad I got out when I got out, and it was time. I always knew it wasn't the end goal to stay in Alaska. I wasn't going to live in Alaska forever.
Right.
It's fucking Alaska. For the love of God. You know what I mean? But I knew... this is the time to go, and I left, and then, we got married, and my wife came here. But I got so much backlash over that, man. You have no idea.
Yeah, I believe it.
But why not? Look what I did. Look at the load I took off of my family.
Yeah.
Look what I did. What's there to be mad about? What did I do? What did I do wrong? You tell me, what did I do wrong? What, I left for a couple years?
I
took a load. I took pressure off my whole family. I took pressure off everyone.
It worked. It doesn't matter. Even on NMM the thumb. Did it work out positively for you?
It worked out perfectly. Yeah.
It worked out perfect. Why does it matter what I think?
It doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
Be laughing. Yeah. You did that because that's what you wanted to do, because it worked out in your favor in all aspects of life that you had going on at the time. You went for it. You did it. You took all the backlash for it because it's me and you talking. So I know all this stuff. You know all this stuff. Whatever. So it's like different if someone else was sitting here. I'd ask him more questions, but I know all the stuff that went with it. You had a lot of backlash for this.
Man. It was a lot.
To bring it back to the idea of gruja.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Straight up.
But Shushai, why are we...
I don't know, man. Onugdi. I don't know. People got to progress. Hey, man, there's some opportunity. Let the kid be... let the kid chase his opportunity. Let him do what he's got to do. And no one moves to Anchorage, Alaska for the kitch. Trust me.
No one does anything.
It's not. In Miami.
Yeah.
Believe me, I lived there 4 years. But you go to literally meet a goal, do some things, meet some expectations, do some things, man. It wasn't like a leisure trip because you'd feel guilt. I'd almost feel guilty moving to Miami and like not getting anything done. I'd feel guilty. Yeah. Just fucking around.
Because then you just went for fun at that point.
You went for
That's
shits and giggles.
Thing,
you know what I mean? But it wasn't that. So what the fuck is your problem? That I moved com shku, com puno, ke gruja? Okay. Com puno. Nuki cum grind borch, you know what I mean? Nuki more, nuki viuda. Kumpo no, you know.
You and that Chaduta be laughing in all aspects. We're using the specific case study at this point. Whatever, we can use it. Ebone because it was better for you. You saw the opportunity
and for my family,
and
man.
for
that
your
was
family.
The thing. It was
right, that's a whole different thing.
It was in the back of my head. I have to relieve the pressure. I have to put the weight on my shoulders. I'm old enough now.
Yeah.
I got in myself this situation. I'm getting married. I need to build a house. I can't rely on anyone.
Right. Yeah,
I can't. I've never relied on anyone, man. Never, for nothing. And I can't. So it was just, people talking this and that. But you know what? Fuck them, bro. Fuck them.
It worked out in the end for you beautifully, and you're happy. Now it's going to continue into more progression, more beautiful things, and it's going to continue beautifully.
But it was a lot of backlash, man. It was a lot of shomlafkumhanger.
And that we need to, I don't get that.
I don't either.
And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect because I'm not perfect because I've done all those things too. Mm-hmm. That's just, we've been grown up that way. Now I realize it Nurshi.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to start normalizing these things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying stop caring. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you see an opportunity. You think it's something good. You think it's something for good for your family, for the community, for yourself at the end of the day. Do it.
Yep, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Nuk di ma shumë që shtom. Do it se në plas. Do it. God damn it.
I know, man,
You know what I mean?
And that was the hardest thing, man. It was really hard to leave the 9 to 5. Dude, all your life, all my life. You know, my dad came here at 12. No father. By himself. You know, his
Right.
father had died. I've already mentioned that earlier, but he was by himself. Bosny. He had been through some fucked up shit. You know, he had really, I don't mean to sound like a fucking, your typical immigrant story, but he had the typical immigrant, like
story.
your father, like his
Like
father.
everybody's father.
Like everybody's
Exactly.
father. I'm not
Yes.
saying that my dad got hick mashom. You know,
Right,
they've
yeah,
all
yeah,
got
yeah,
hick.
yes.
But I'm saying was they've all gone hick.
Yeah.
So when they see you're trying to go against the norm, their dream is for their son to work an 8 to 5, become a partner in an accounting firm, make 200 grand a year in a North, go buy a a house with a white picket fence, get 2 weeks paid vacation, go to Florida, go back home once every 3 years.
The American dream.
The American
but plus
dream.
with all the Albanian aspects on top of it.
Exactly, which doesn't exist, by the way. You can't do it. You can't do it. I'm sorry, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So it was so hard. I think that was the hardest part, was leaving the standard 9 to 5. That was the hardest part. It wasn't moving to Alaska. It was leaving the cliche. Abet punojsh si njëra, ke shku me gjitha të shkollë. Yeah. I fucking, you had to go in debt, man. College isn't cheap. It's expensive. You literally take out debt. Like literally for 10 years, you got to pay debt after you graduate, and it's just like, yeah, man, no. My mom would be, yeah, man, no, it's practical. Can pa fjetu me so. It's just like, I get it, mom, but it's all good. I always say, and this is the one thing, man, like, especially with the older generation Albanians that have like gone hick and they've, done entrepreneurship or haven't, or just like it's just let your kid, man, just fucking push them to just chase their dreams, chase their struggle, chase the hustle. Don't just give them the easy way out. I swear to God, that's the biggest problem with Albanian parents right now. They want their kid to have the easiest life because they had a hard life.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes the easiest life just doesn't cut it for us.
Yeah.
It doesn't cut it for us. Because it just, you want your kid to have an easy life. Get ready for them to have dramatic changes in their culture, their whatever. Because it doesn't work. You can't do both. You can't do both.
You can't. It's almost impossible.
It's literally almost physically impossible. Unless your kid's a fucking genius and they become a fucking partner. They become a doctor. They become, head lawyer at a huge law firm.
It's possible because we
it's fucking hard. Again,
hard.
man, our parents have 8th grade educations, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But if you can do that too. There's no negative.
There's no negative.
Here is what I'm trying.
And that was the hardest part. Was the letting down. Was the getting out of the accounting. Was getting telling people, buy pizza na loss. What do you mean buy pizza? Onjem shofer pizza ve. Little did they know it was a great fucking living. Who would have thought?
Para me no çfarë titull. Shoferi pizza.
Shoferi pizza ve. And that was what I was like. On shoferi pizza ve. But honestly, thosh, man, it was the truth. I cooked pizzas, I cooked Philly cheesesteaks, and I delivered pizzas. And you know what? God damn it, it did really well for myself.
It worked out for
It worked out for me. You know what I mean? So let it be.
Oh, wow.
I'm not an idiot. I got a degree to show it. I've always said, man, college isn't the stupidest thing. It's really the best insurance policy. It's like a kickstand on a bike. You got a bike. It can go, it's a kickstand in case you want to take it a break.
Yeah.
It's an insurance policy. All goes wrong. Everything's fucked up. You always got it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll use it. I can't say I'll never be an accountant. I'll never go back to the 9 to 5. Do I want to? No. And I think my family has now realized that within the last year or two, they just they stopped. They stopped asking me about it because they see I've pushed it away now. I've been graduated for 8 years. I was an accountant for a year, and I've gone back into restaurants. I've gone back into these laborer jobs and, really gritty jobs. And it's tough. But you know what? I don't know, man. We were just raised like that. We were raised like that.
That's it.
What I always say, what do you expect out of me? What the fuck do you expect out of me? You went to 3rd grade, Mom.
It's not even that. That's just what you were conditioned to.
I was conditioned.
I was raised to the hard work.
My restaurant, my dad's restaurant, when I was a kid, I was right behind my house. I was raised totem ke kuzhina and go and mess with the cooks and mess with my cousins that worked at the kitchen and mess with the dishwashers and play with the waitresses and
you're always
get
in
milkshakes and stuff.
You're always in the kitchen, exactly.
Always, and it's just I don't know, man. There's no right or wrong answer.
It's hard. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy, man. This life, I mean, it's just, there's no right or wrong answer to anything.
Nothing.
But you got to make the best
on top of it.
Being shoopers, baby. It's just, there's a lot of expectations, man. There's nothing like being Albanian, I swear to God. It's so easy to give a fuck, but so hard to not give a fuck. It's really weird, man. It's really, you could really just say fuck it all and just go and live a Karen and Jake life. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it? I don't, personally. I could have. I was on that path.
Yeah, you were there already.
Years.
Exactly. And that's what interests me.
Yeah.
What the flip? What was it?
Loyalty, man. The feeling, the acceptance. You guys accepted me. You guys barely knew me.
Yeah.
Again, and when I was 17, 18, I drove a Dodge Stratus 98 purple, dude. It was a boat, man. We called her Tina. It was a boat. You know what I mean? You guys had BMWs and Porsches, and you guys accepted me. You guys didn't care at all.
Right, yeah, that was the thing.
You guys just thought, oh my God, the kid from, middle of nowhere is funny.
Just another Albanian out there that we can connect to.
You guys took me under your wing, dude. Built a brotherhood, look,
That's
12
it.
years later. And it was just, there's no loyalty like it with, you guys. There's no loyalty like it. And it just, it was different, man. You feel so comfortable. You feel almost like safe. It's like you're under someone's wing. It was weird. And there was nothing like it, man. And like I said, we go back to the whole, you guys went back home, you guys had these memories, and it's like, I hear these, and it's like, fuck. But now I'm making them, now I'm going back home every year.
Yeah, now it's different.
But it's just like, damn, I wish I didn't miss out on those, I really do. But, we'll make memories from here on out, and we have.
And we have, and we're going to continue to make them, thankfully. And that's the thing that I want to get to, because there's millions of different points of views. Everybody's got their own story. Again, I'm going to go back to this. Everybody's got their own story.
Everybody.
I don't deny anybody's story. I'm not going to sit here and say, you're wrong, you're right. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to get the stories out there.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in those stories.
Yeah.
So we can all come closer together.
Man, everyone has a different path. Everyone has a different outlook on life. Like I remember when you first started this, we were so focused on when are we going to get the Gashis and the Rita Oras.
Yeah, you were
the Dua Lipas. I was like, listen, man.
You're a big thing on that.
Yeah, and I was
too.
like, listen, man, you got to get the janitor, the truck driver, the server, the bartender, anyone. Just listen to what is their life like in America.
To say. Exactly.
What do they have to say? What do they have to bring? What have they gone through? How are they doing it here?
Yes, and this is perfect because I was actually thinking about this today. So this is beautiful that you brought this up. On nuk jem ne intellectual.
Yeah.
Tosh jem ne genius, po të di...
Scholar,
të maj ligjerata këto, po të vishën e të mësoj shkollë këto për shqiptarinë and për everything. I like to think of myself as a man of the people.
Yeah.
A man of the people.
Wow.
So I'm going to bring everybody on here.
Yeah.
Këto nuk një gjithë të Gashis, të Dua Lipas, nuk jem ne stimor në ata.
Yeah.
But I want to get everybody's story. Because nuk jem mat category to discuss certain things. I'm going to discuss certain things. If I bring someone on that has a big topic or that ne shkollovant ne sen, I'm going to ask them what I think logically. And guess what I think logically? That's what I think most people think out there.
Yeah.
So that's the point of this.
Yeah.
And you were a big factor in that because I was talking to you about it specifically. The podcast idea, this, that. Is like, and I was bringing up, I'm talking to this guy, I'm talking to that guy, I'm going to bring this guy on. And you said it to me, like you just said. Dude, I think it's everybody's story.
Everybody has a
story.
Everybody's been through shit.
Story.
Everybody's had a struggle.
Yes.
Everybody's had
and more people relate to that.
A lot more people relate to it, man.
They'll be more interested in listening to it.
Very.
And not even for the people that are listening. 10 people could view this.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're going to have this forever. And I love that. And I love doing this. And I love the idea of it. I want to hear more stories personally so that I get more context. So
I think the worst thing
do.
you could do, man, I've always said, I think when I, bring it to Gashi, I met Gashi 2 years ago. I met him twice now. Cool guy. Remember, I always said, I think one of the worst things he's done in his music career is kind of push away Albanians. He so wants to be American and worldwide.
Dude,
Bro, no, fuck that, dude. Where is his number one listening hits to? Switzerland, Germany, Austria, Albania, Kosovo, Sweden. Where all shupes are.
Mafal, se show Akimi, and I have to correct you. Have you ever listened to his podcast? I don't know who he was on some podcast.
No Jumper?
Nugedi, he was on some podcast and he brought up the idea of it.
Huh.
the Albanian community.
Yeah.
He brought up Albanians at the end of the day. All the bullshit, whatever he's gotten from it, At the end of the day, he had their back. He brought that up.
Yeah.
You did?
I haven't listened to it.
You got to listen to it.
Yeah.
Bafal. That's the thing with everybody. It's not even Albanians. You got to listen to everything. He backs the Albanians. Sure, he had his little moments where he was just fucking with everybody else, but gosh, he does his thing.
He does do his thing. I love the guy.
When
man.
it comes to
but
Albanian
I think
stuff.
the way he's like, dude, you just gotta, man, I don't know if it, I get it, chase the dream, chase the hustle, but fucking, dude, inherit them. Just fucking embrace them. Shkwan Kosov, Shkwan Shqipnar, Shkwan Macedoni. Do these concerts, you'll make your bag, bro. You'll make your money. You'll get famous. But just fucking embrace it. I don't know. I'm crazy. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know.
You're not stupid. You just don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know. You
I'm
gotta
not in the
listen
music
to it.
industry. Dion.
I mean, no, we're not all in the music. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to everything Gashi has to say.
Bah.
Obviously, we don't have that time. But I'm just sitting here and telling you, I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and he puts on Albanians like nobody's business.
He does, because you know what? I think he fucking almost has to, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. You have to. What are all those clips that he's posting when he's walking onto a crowd and there's thousands of people? They're at Sunny Hill Music Festival in Kosovo. They are. They're in Zurich, Switzerland.
I'm not gonna sit here and argue that one.
And guess who's in Switzerland? Gjithë dajgjët the fucking Kasalar, my dajgjët are in Switzerland. You know what I mean? Every Albanian from Macedonia lives in Switzerland. And guess where his biggest hits are? Where he's the number one artist. Switzerland, Germany, Austria, like I said earlier. Where his picks were thousands of people are in the stand.
Yeah.
Where do you see Flamoods everywhere?
Yeah,
it just
100%.
embraced Albanians, bro.
100%. He does. I think he does.
And I hate people that try to push it away and try to be famous and fucking, get, dude,
there's a bunch of them out there. There's a bunch of them
There's
out there.
too many out there, man. Ma njëk dom ka erë, sundërroj. I swear to God. I bet just fucking deal with it. Say shtu. Embrace it, man. Deal with it. Those are your album sales. Those are your fucking merchandise sales. Those are it. I see all my shoot as fucking posting as iTunes song on their Instagram stories. I don't see no Americans, dude. I don't. I'm sorry.
Hey, man. Hey, that's the truth.
It is the truth. I love the guy. Shouts out to him.
Shouts
but
out
bro,
to
it's
Gashi.
the
We
truth.
get him on the podcast, nah?
I love the guy.
See,
Again,
some
man, I can't
But that's
stress
the thing
enough.
you're right. But there's a lot of negativity sometimes. Yeah. That comes with it. So it's a balance. You got to balance it.
But man, you can't make everyone happy, man.
Exactly. And I'm not.
I've given up doing that, dude. I swear to God.
Making everybody happy. That's the same. I'm done making everybody happy. I'm doing what I think is good, and that's
it. If I made everyone happy, I'd live in middle of nowhere. I'd work in 8 to 5 for like a construction company as a staff accountant.
Right.
I'd make 31 grand a year. I have 2 weeks paid vacation to Destin, Florida. And then I would literally go back home once every 5 years once I had 30 grand in the bank account and can finally I'm done fucking making people happy, man. I could care less. I really could. I could care less going the main route. I really could. I'm so tired of even
What makes you happy right now? Does making, because I'm going to bring this back a little because I know you got a little bit to say about this. Does going to Kosovo make you happy?
It does, man. It makes me ecstatic. It makes me really happy.
How about when you find yourself in the unique situation when you go by yourself back home?
Man. Listen, dude, we brought it up earlier. The way I felt accepted back home was like no other. Like when I've built a brothership. I feel like I'm family with everyone when I go to the Gaficha. And I have never, back home has its good and bads.
Yes, it does.
It's got its really goods and its really fucking bads. You know what I mean? The first time I went back home, I'll never forget it. I was 8. I was born in Manastate, Bitola.
So you're not an American native.
I'm not. I'm an immigrant,
president.
man.
Yeah,
my dad's been here for 48 years, but I'm an immigrant. You know,
it's the best. It's obviously, and I know you agree with this. It's the best place in the world.
The best place in the world, man.
I can go anywhere. Just go to dish.
Something about back home.
It's something about back home that I think also helps.
Yeah.
Keeping us more Albanian at the end of the day.
Dude, it helps big time. What are you talking about? You connect where you really see what it's about.
You
really see how people are struggling. Man, when people how they live in struggling, John, son, you know what really it brings you, it humbles you.
All right. Dude, I honestly think we could end it there.
Yeah, we can.
We could go, me and you could go for another 3 hours if we wanted to. and have a good time. We got a laughter. We got some
Dude,
serious.
we'll have more shows.
We're gonna have more.
podcasts.
If anything, we might go Thursday night. We might do a three-way. Sounds a little weird, but we might do that. I think we're gonna do that one because it'll be a good one. But yeah, all right then.